is up, everybody? It's your boy Flash from ALWT Gaming, aka Malachi36. I'm here with the review crew, the spawns of heaven, the destroyers of hell. Gravity Mark 2, how are you doing, man?
Hey! I'm gonna be like a kids TV show host. Hey!
A little sitcom intro.
Hi there, neighbor.
Oh wait, no, that's good.
Oh, man.
I tilted my head a little too far over there. I'm doing good, man. I'm doing real good. Just got the Kimetsu no Yaiba game this week.
Yep, Demon Slayers Unite.
50%, a little over 50% of the trophies already.
Oh wow!
Holy crap! Yeah, I got honestly, beating the people. It's not that hard, but there's some other stuff with it. I'll talk about that in a little bit.
Cool.
Game so far.
Mill, Dewey, Carrot, how are you?
Good. Playing a lot of Phasmophobia with our dear friends Gravity and Nineball, and then of course my bro TPF Abyss. You know, we've been kind of just running around, pissing ghosts off, trying to get ourselves killed and figure out what they are. You know, fun stuff.
Notice how they've been surviving through majority of these runs that they do this suicidal mission. So just throwing it out there.
We're trying to get Malachi to join us. Everyone, type F in chat if you want Malachi to get Phasmophobia.
I don't know what you're talking about. And notice how the chat just has a whole bunch of crickets right now as we going over to Nineball. It's the Nineball.
They're waiting to
corner
strike.
Pocket. Setting it up for his shot to break the pack. What's up, man?
Oh, not too much. Like you said, I've been playing hours of Phasmophobia.
You know, that sounds like that sounds like a DLC just now, the way you said that. Hours of Phasmophobia. Right there. Title. Patent pending.
Okay. No, just having a blast playing that. Still playing, what is that game? Fatal Frame. Made it to the Black Water.
Cool.
Making it pretty far on there.
Nice.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, today is a very special day because we are, yesterday, as most of you guys know, Halo Infinite the multiplayer had dropped, Shadow dropped, Beyonce dropped, if you will. So some people that don't follow the video game news so closely, that may have been a super huge surprise for you guys. For others who have been following it and everything like that, it was leaked over the weekend, but again, you don't want to get your hopes up. But Xbox had confirmed it, and yesterday, for the 20th anniversary of Xbox, they went ahead and had 343 drop the game. So a little early Christmas present for you guys. But before we dive into all that, we are talking about video games. Just a reminder, you guys are listening to ALWT Things Gaming episode 73. We are 14 episodes in front on Anchor, so that will be episode 659? 59.
So,
yes.
Something?
Yes, so thank you very much again for anyone that's been listening to us on Spotify, Anchor, any video game podcasts and all that good stuff. We appreciate you guys. We love you guys. Make sure you guys are checking us out at www.alwtgame.com. ALWT Gaming stands for At Least We Try Gaming. We did go ahead and take a look at the Fantasy Critic pre-stream, and it's looking like Mildewy Care is reeling the bacon. Looks like he does have a good grasp on the cojones of what is called Fantasy Gaming League.
You still catch up.
Yeah, I mean, yes. It's looking unlikely, I should say. It's just not looking too promising.
We have a fighting chance.
We have a fighting chance of Final Fantasy 16 drops in the next month and a half.
Okay, let's be realistic.
That's I am being realistic. If you said there's a fighting chance, let's go. You know what I mean? There's no way we're catching them. But yeah, so if you guys are curious about that, make sure you guys are going to Fantasy Critic and checking us out. Just type in ALWT Gaming there. We're going to be doing a new Fantasy League at the beginning of 2022. So we're going to get that stream all scheduled and all that good stuff. If you guys want to kind of chime in on the fun, all the good stuff, give us little suggestions inside the chat. All of it's welcome. But I did want to jump into, again, video games. We're going to talk about the VGAs, the Video Games of the Year awards. All that good stuff is happening here at the VGA, the Game Awards, hosted by Jeff Keighley. There's a few categories I just want to kind of get your guys' thoughts on and see what do you guys think is going to be the likely winner of each one of these categories. And I wanted to start off with Game of the Year. So the Game of the Year options we have here is Deathloop, It Takes Two, Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, and Resident Evil Village. Where do we think that this Game of the Year is going to land amongst these nominees? I'm going to start off with, we're going to go counterclockwise this time. I want to start off with you, Nineball.
I'm going with Resident Evil Village.
Really?
Yes.
Why do you say that?
It's been incredibly popular. I've seen some of the gameplay where I haven't played it recently. I haven't played it at all. It looks incredible. It looks amazing. The gameplay is pretty responsive. The story seems pretty good. So I think Village can take it.
Okay. Mildew and Carrot, where are you at with this?
I'm gonna go with It Takes Two.
Okay.
That game had the biggest reaction drop ever when it came out. Like, people were like, "Oh, this is probably gonna be nothing." It blew up. Like, it was top. Like, everyone was on it. Like, the game is just, it's very unique. It's got its own artwork. The co-op interaction capabilities are fantastic on there. Sound, story. I think it's got it all to take it. Not saying that Resident Evil Village is not, like, that game looks fantastic, as Nineball says, but I just feel like with just the reaction that you got with It Takes Two, even though Village is getting its going right now, I still think It Takes Two took it right at the beginning.
Okay. Gravity Mark Dose.
Honestly, I thought I was going to be the outlier on this one, but I'm actually going to be agreeing with Mildewy here with It Takes Two. For a lot of the same reasons he said. It was it blew up everywhere. There were a lot of people that played it. Like, I saw a whole lot of activity on Twitch when it came out. And the other thing that kept like crossing my mind with this is that out of all of the games on here, like, how many of these are actually like multiplayer? Where, like, I think Deathloop is, and I think It Takes Two, and I think that's it. Yeah. Unless Ratchet and Clank has some sort of
no.
Not that I'm aware of.
No. Oh, so, like, yeah, because I don't think Deathloop has had enough time to, like, really sit and cook, like, to actually, like, get the hype that it probably deserves. With It Takes Two, it's had pretty much the entire year really cook. And the other thing is that, like, when I'm thinking about this, because it's a two-player game, like, you have to play it with multiple people. It's kind of one of my things where I'm like, that's just more people that are exposed to the game that are probably going to vote for it. Whereas, like, Metroid, I'm sure Metroid's a really great game. It's just that it's a single player game. Same with Resident Evil, same with Ratchet & Clank, same with Psychonauts. And so, like, I'm looking at It Takes Two, and I'm thinking that's probably more people that had access to play the game. Especially when you play together with friends, like, that's just, you're going to have a much better time. So I'm thinking that we're going to be seeing a lot of votes be cast for It Takes Two.
I think I'm the odd man out here. Because I don't think it's going to be Resident Evil, because I honestly think that game, I think some people loved it, but I also think that there was some people who argued that it was too short. I know that was one of the critics that came out. I think It Takes Two, I think that was a nice surprise for everybody of how well it did. I also think that, yes, you have time for it to cook and everything like that, but I think that when we have these Game of the Year conversations, it's always kind of like a little like, what is truly Game of the Year? Because you remember how you felt when the game first came out at the very beginning of the year, and then unless that game did absolutely something to you, then when we get towards the end of the year, if you have other amazing games that came out, I think that that's going to be a factor, and they might be like, oh yeah, that did come out this year for games that came out earlier. I think, to be honest with you, I think that Psychonauts 2 is the one that's going to take it.
Oh.
I think that Psychonauts 2 is going to be the one that takes it. And for the simple fact is that, one, Deathloop, there's a lot of hype behind it, but it was a little too much hype to the point to where the marketing was very annoying to a certain degree. It Takes Two, again, I think that was a nice surprise. People liked the Brothers or whatever it was called. People liked No Way Out. There's mixed criticism on No Way Out. I think it was like a 7 out of 10 on most people's gaming radars. Metroid Dread, I do think that a lot of people were just like, yeah, this game is pretty awesome, but at the same time, I think that there was some difficulty curves that some people just did not appreciate in Metroid. And when I say that, when I talk about those instances, I think that those are the people that wanted to get inside the Metroid franchise at this one and were having difficulty trying to find out where to go. Ratchet and Clank, I think that was I think a lot. I won't be surprised if that one wins, but I think that one more or less is just really good as far as incorporating the features of the PlayStation, like DualSense audio, all that good stuff. I think that's if there was something like that as far as features, I think that would easily win. But this is not going to be just that. This is going to be overall. So with that being said, when I think about it, I think there's hype behind Psychonauts 2 because of Psychonauts 1. I think that it did launch and scored very, very well. And on top of that, I think it dropped at a pretty significant time to where it wasn't super early in the year. It wasn't even in the middle of the year. It came out, like a couple months ago, if that? Like, it just recently came out not too long ago, and now we're about to go inside the game of the year. So I think Psychonauts 2 might be the win. And on top of that, like, I know it's Xbox Studios, but I'm pretty sure that's on multi-platforms. I don't think it's just on Xbox. So
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure because Psychonauts 1 did come to
Psychonauts 1 was on Majestico. It was Majestico. I believe it was just I think it was just Xbox.
Well, it was just Xbox for a time period, I'm pretty sure, and then it came on over to PlayStation and other platforms. Which I don't think
Psychonauts 2 is PlayStation 4, Series X, Series S, 1, Windows, OS, and Linux.
Yeah. I knew it was on Windows, but that really doesn't say much.
Microsoft. Yeah. And that's kind of where my head is at. So I think Psychonauts has the opportunity to hit more platforms. It is newer. There was hype built up around it, and it did come out on a time period that's really close to Game Awards, or close enough to be on people's minds fresh.
I'm going to say you kind of have a bit of a hint with the platforms because Psychonauts 2 is on Mac OS and Linux, where It Takes Two is not. But It Takes Two is on 4, Xbox One, PlayStation 5, Series X, Series S, and Microsoft Windows. So they're on 5. I don't think... They didn't mention 5 in the platforms for Psychonauts 2, which is weird.
PlayStation 5, yeah. I mean, if it's on PlayStation 4, you're probably able to play it on PS5.
Yeah.
It's just
but
weird.
They didn't. I don't know. That's weird that it was only mentioning 4, but I mean, they're kind of almost the same. The only difference is it's just the OS systems. But I'm going to say this. I don't know if anyone that plays on Mac OS or Linux games. I don't know anyone who plays games on those systems at all. Maybe Linux, but Mac.
I'll have you know. I'm a purist Linux user.
I was gonna say Linux. I can see some, but Mac.
Yeah, actually, the new I'm gonna say Steam Deck, I believe, is using a version of Linux.
It is.
Oh.
Because most that's what Steam OS is, I believe, is a version of Linux.
Oh, really? That part
It's
I
not
did
that
not know.
It's not that surprising. PlayStation actually uses Linux.
Well,
They
use an architecture of Linux.
Yeah.
PlayStation 2 back in the day, in an attempt to compete, actually released a system with Linux.
Yeah, well, and then one of the hackers went ahead and tried to show you how to get Linux back on your next gen console at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was, yeah.
I mean, they both. I feel like you make a good point there, Malachi. I feel like them and It Takes Two are kind of like the top 2 contenders, if anything. Like I said, I see Resident Evil definitely coming because there's that horror group that loves the genre, but I don't see it taking like first place. But I can agree with your assessment on Psychonauts 2, so I think it's going to be interesting to see what the vote is.
Yeah. I'm very curious as well. We'll have to find out in the next episode of Video Game Awards. The section 2 we have for his best game direction. pretty much the games are the same except for one of them is being swapped out. So Deathloop, It Takes Two, Returnal, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Going clockwise this time, Gravity. Best game direction.
This one's tough.
This one's tough. You know what? I'm just gonna take a shot in the dark on this one because I really haven't played any of these games. But honestly, if I had to say, I'd go with Ratchet and Clank. Just from what I've seen from it so far, it looks really great. It's a follow-up to the franchise, and it was a really great follow-up, especially being able to utilize the PS5 hardware, being able to jump through the rifts like just seamlessly without having to like wait for a loading screen. I think that, and honestly, like if you've ever actually played any of the Ratchet and Clank games, they're pretty good. Like they're not terrible. I'm sure with this one, I'm pretty sure it's fine. Returnal, I've also heard really great things about, but like I've heard mainly like really great things about like the DualSense, like rather than the actual like direction. So in terms of that, I don't quite know, but I'm just gonna go with Ratchet and Clank.
Okay. Mildewy Kakarot. Kakarot. Of Mildewy.
So this one was definitely kind of hard too, because I kind of agree with Gravity that Ratchet and Clank definitely used a lot of the elements for it, in terms of like taking direction and all. Psychonauts 2 definitely, as we saw, took definitely a bigger, like a good direction, like really bringing themselves out and like really continuing the series. It Takes Two is a new game that came out that we were just talking before in the Game of the Year that came out and had really good reviews, reactions, capabilities in terms of game direction and design. So it's a very hard one to pick here. I'm gonna have to stick though with It Takes Two, just because it was a very unique and interesting game to come out by itself, and really kind of just step into the limelight and go. And people really kind of thought it wasn't going to go. They kind of just looked at it and wrote it off as like one of those like, oh, it's gonna be like a lower. It's gonna be a good game, but they're not gonna say it's gonna be anything. But then it took off. It really took off. So. And I'm not trying to use that to be the main description of it. Like I said, I feel like they really did a good job with the direction of the story, like in getting the people keeping them entertained in the game, keeping them focused and going through it, using the capabilities of the DualShocks and just the aspects of the multiplayer too is really what I kind of look as being the best for it, is the co-op capability of the game, and using that in the story and making an interesting story with it is where I'm kind of giving them the biggest thumbs up for. So that's why I'm going with It Takes Two for my choice.
9-ball, corner pocket, don't scratch.
Ooh, so this one was hard. And you're going to find it weird that I picked these three weird games. Deathloop, Psychonauts 2, and Returnal. And the reason
you gotta wait a whistle here to get going. He's like, hold on. Like,
he's like, let me get this little drink.
All right,
in.
sit down, boys. Let me tell you why.
Nah, it's just thirsty.
I'll wet my whistle real quick.
This is for creative vision and innovation.
Yeah.
And that's where I was looking at. For me, I would probably go Returnal because I played Returnal. I have not played the other two. But I could see Psychonauts winning. Returnal acts more like it's a roguelike with, I would say, elements where you die, you reset. But certain things you'll take with you, kind of like I can't remember those things called, like orbs and stuff. Mm-hmm. Psychonauts is all about jumping into other people's minds, which is different worlds and different places of things to go to, which the original Psychonauts is sort of like a cult classic. And I was surprised that they were able to reinvent it and improve on it the way they did. Because Majestical has some pretty good games. The reason why I'm not really saying It Takes Two, I know it's a great game. I'm not saying that, but I'm looking at it as a point of creativity. I would say, I'm trying to put it in words. I would say unique visions and creativity, how you did it. Mm-hmm. And while I like, and I've been hearing nothing but good things about It Takes Two, I think it might not take this one. And Ratchet and Clank, it's more, I would say, I'm not saying it's bad, but jumping between worlds, I've seen that on Medium does that actually too, where it's two worlds actually side by side throughout the whole game, where you would have to jump between the two on the fly in order to solve puzzles and stuff, and also escape certain things. But I'm gonna probably go with Returnal because out of the three I was thinking of, it's the one I played, and I really like. Well, I might go for Psychonauts. I mean, really want to play Psychonauts too.
Well, I mean,
I'm a sticker. Yeah, I'm a sticker with Returnal. I mean, I would be surprised if Psychonauts 2 wins this one though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can do that.
There's two things I wanted to point out. One, you kept saying Majestico. Did Psychonauts have a new developer? Because on here it's saying it was Double Fine and Xbox Studios.
Yeah, Majestico. I know Majestico because they made one of my favorite games of all time, which is Phantom Dust, which Xbox just doesn't want to renew. They also made Advent Rising, which was a really good game. I just looked them up. They went out of business though, and was bought by some other company or something.
Gotcha. But Double Fine itself is not a part of Majestico at any point?
No.
So they must have just taken the Psychonauts 2 project then, because that's what it was. It's like saying right here that's Double. I mean, I've never been a Psychonauts person, so I never knew who truly made it. But
yeah, I just knew him because at the time, like I said, I got Phantom Dust and I Advent Rising, which were really good games.
Gotcha. I will say I actually agree with Gravity. I think it's going to be Ratchet and Clank for this one. Few reasons. One, Ultimate Dimensions. Yes, there's a few games that probably did that. So, I mean, you mentioned the Medium, but I know the Medium did not do well overall. So a lot of people are probably going to be overlooking that, to be honest with you. Ratchet and Clank did hit off with a banger, but also goes back to what I was saying before. Ratchet and Clank, we're talking about creative vision and innovation of the game direction and design. Their design with their audio, with the haptic feedback, with all of that was done superbly. That was done to a whole another level to it. Returnal's in that same conversation. So honestly, I think either Returnal or Ratchet and Clank could win this one. But I think this one, when we're talking about the actual creative vision and innovation, I think a lot of people are going to go with Ratchet and Clank. All of them have very unique creative visions already. Every single one of these up here do deserve to win. The Deathloop is already like it's a loop, but with the multiplayer feature in there. But then you're in this like weird.
They can take fifth place. They can take fifth place.
I mean, It Takes Two. Like even for It Takes Two, which I would say is probably the least creative out of the bunch, is still really creative. Still,
it was. Pretty
Go play
creative.
some Bug Snacks.
No, I really did think that would. I think that it is. And to be completely honest with you, it's funny you say that because out of all these games up here, the only game I do own out of these 5 is It Takes Two. That's the only game I actually do own. But even that, it was just like you have a husband and wife who are about to get divorced, and this girl was wishing these dolls to life, and then next thing you know, her parents are now these dolls, and they're trying to get back to their daughter and stuff like that, going through like a whole counseling session throughout the entire game. That's creative as crap to where it's actually impacting some people's lives and even save some of their marriages. So I wouldn't be surprised if that does. Yeah, like every single one of these could win, but I think when you speak about an actual creative vision and innovation of the game, I think that Ratchet and Clank has more to offer in that category.
I think they got more technical stuff to offer. I feel like
It
Takes Two has got almost like all of that with the, like you said, it's got that counseling theme in there. It's got the capability of multiplayer co-oping, working together, showing the unity and all. It's got the capabilities of with the haptics in there and everything. It's like I feel like it's got more broader spectrum in that versus just kind of being technical and all. Because like Ratchet and Clank is a pretty set story, even though jumping back and forth in dimensions and time is pretty cool and all. But we kind of see that with several other games. We've already seen time travel. We've already seen jumping back and forth. You could name Xenoverse series. You can name Bioshock Infinite with
Like
that with
Cooper
time traveling. Cooper did definitely good call Gravity. And dimension stuff like there's a bunch of like we have what was it we were just playing it Remnant of the Ashes does different dimensional travels So it's kind of just already there and been done with. So I feel like they're just taking the world and kind of building on it with the haptic feedback, which makes it a really good game. But I just don't feel like it's got the amount to really push it forward to get that award, in my opinion. But that's me. Y'all can grill me later on it, especially when I lose.
We are going to start with you on this next.
You know what?
Category.
We're gonna leave you in the house. We play fast.
We are going to lean on over to
the ghost down.
We are going to go ahead and lean to with you there, Mildewy, on this next category, which is best narrative, and that is for outstanding storytelling and narrative development in games. That's Deathloop, It Takes Two, Life is Strange: True Colors, Martians, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Psychonauts 2. Where is your head at with that one?
See, now y'all would think I would just go with the It Takes Two train. I'm not. The reason why is because I love Life is Strange. Here's the reason why. This game is not an action game. It's not an adventure exploration. It's not a puzzle solver. It's a narrative exploration game of finding out and learning about people and really paying attention to them and kind of going with it and discovering yourself and other options, getting to know the people and like really just delving into these people. And like depending on how you delve, it affects the story. So it's very, very narrative and story driven and based on the storytelling. And that's what it evolves, and that's how it gets itself to be a good game. So I'm definitely voting for Life is Strange, True Colors.
Okay.
No offense to the other games, like I said, all of them like in here. I haven't played Deathloop. It seems like it's got a decent story of like you're just trying to figure it out of like how you got in there and get out. You know, so maybe like a little bit of self discovery and all. It Takes Two's got a good story of like mom and dad trying to resolve the conflicts and everything while trying to survive in this world. Very nice story. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, come on. You're going through beating up baddies, saving the universe. Cut and dry Marvel. There we go. Psychonauts 2, trying to get through life, as a psychonaut, diving in the brain, saving the world from the evil doctor. Kind of already done story and all. Life is Strange, though, really just takes it to a new level, I feel like, with just being a good game of a narrative story. And the fact that they got up there into that means they had some very good writing.
So my pick for that is also going to be Life is Strange: True Colors. I do agree with 99% of what you said. I think that Marvel's vs. Galaxy would actually surprise you. It's not the typical game that you would just think they're running and gunning.
I haven't played it.
Yeah. I was going to say,
I'm not trying to be negative to it. Like I said, it scored really well. I've heard very good things about it, but just if you think about it just in terms of a base story, it's like you're in the galaxy, you're fighting off, you're really kind of just like trying to save the world and all. It's a kind of feels like a similar trope of a storyline, but they probably have written it to where it doesn't feel that way.
Well, there's
like
choices.
I said,
there's
me
choices
not playing
that will
it.
actually, it's like a very Dragon Age, Mass Effect ish type style game.
Oh,
yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I really did not know that. That's how much I paid attention to the game.
But other than that, I agree with you. I do think Life is Strange: True Colors just even before I haven't played Life is Strange: True Colors, but playing the other Life is Strange, those like you have a choice, you have outcomes, you have consequences. You literally every choice that you make will affect something in a negative and positive manner. People will die. People will be happy. People will become your enemies. People will be your best friends. Yeah, there's such a big butterfly effect here, and it just comes down to again, how do you interact with these individuals?
I'm knocking on wood for that. If you played the first Life is Strange, you get it. Hey.
Oh yeah. Yeah. But pretty much I will agree with you as far as your testament as far as winning the best narrative. I do think it's going to be True Colors. Going on over to you, Nineball. Your thoughts?
Ooh, this one was a tough one for me too. You could be surprised at the choices between I had Life is Strange and Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy.
That doesn't surprise me, especially with what Malachi mentioned about it finally.
Yeah, I've actually seen a lot of gameplay of it, and they actually, to where it approves, people actually like it. They either approve of your choices or disapprove of them.
Yeah.
And throughout the thing, throughout the thing, people like you more or hate you more, depending on the choices you make. But I'm going to go with y'all on this one. And at first I was going to go Marvel's Guardian of the Galaxy, but I'm going to probably go with Life is Strange: True Colors because it's what they do.
Yeah, exactly.
Whole story, like Life is Strange, and what was it? Life is Strange Before the Storm, I want to say.
Yeah, Before the
The
Storm, and then Life
DLC?
is Strange 2.
Yeah.
No, Life is Strange Before the Storm is not a DLC. It's a separate game. It's the time of Chloe and Rachel Amber before Max gets there to Arcadia Bay. So it's before Rachel. Sorry, I'm just like spoiling shit here. Sorry, guys.
So that's not a DLC. That's not DLC content or prequel DLC or anything.
No, it's a prequel.
Okay.
It's a prequel to the Life is Strange series. Because it's its whole story. Kind of like sets up the beginning of Life is Strange, but they did it afterwards.
Interesting.
And then you had Life is Strange 2, and now you have Life is Strange Two Colors. And they kind of showed that with the trailer when they announced it, which was like fantastic the way they did that trailer.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. But yeah, I mean, they do a great job. I mean, no offense to the other ones. I mean, Psychonauts has a pretty wild, crazy story, and I think It Takes Two could easily take it as well. I'm not too sure on Deathloop though, because what I've been seeing is more of the shooter aspect than the story as much. Narrative and storytelling, which makes me not really go for it. I mean, Arcane did do pretty good for what I heard in the story of Dishonored, but I gotta go with it. I mean, not It Takes Two. Life is Strange, True Colors.
Heard that. Gravity Mark Dose floating to the ceiling, my guy.
Do you even need me here? Like, it's Life is Strange. Like, you guys said like everything that needed to be said about that game. Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure Mildewy was the one who mentioned, like, when you look at all of the games on here, like, Life is Strange is like pretty much the only one that's like solely narratively driven. Or like, there's actually like some good gameplay mechanics in a lot of the other ones, but Life is Strange is like all about the narrative in of itself. And so, and plus, like, the fact that it's up there really shows how great of a narrative it actually had. Because I'm sure we've seen like a lot of really great narrative games that just like didn't quite make it, or they're just okay. This one like is up there. Narrative wise, it's a really great story. And like, I mean, like, because like Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, that is one that I think would also like surprise us. But at the same time, it's also like, I'm wondering like how, because I haven't played it yet, but I'm curious as to like how much your decisions really impact like the story as a whole. Like, is it one of those things where people will agree with you or disagree with you, but you'll still end up in the exact same point? Like, do your decisions like how much do your decisions matter? Because there's some games where like you can like, you know, make different decisions, choose different dialogue options, but like you still ultimately end up in the same place, and so you're like, well, did my decisions really matter? I'm curious as to whether or not this is one of those games.
Well, and to your point, because that was my question too. I wanted to know if it was just more of like an interactive in the moment, but that's why I compared it to Dragon Age, because after hearing a couple of reviewers on the playing the game, they had different endings of their game. So it does actually switch up certain things that can transpire throughout the game.
Yeah.
Because Dragon Age the first one has so many different endings in it. The second one, the second one has quite a few different endings too as well. Not as much as the first, but it has a few different endings. And then the last one has quite a few different endings. So it's just like, that's one thing that I personally liked about Dragon Age, because not only does your endings from each game end differently depending on what you do, but depending on how it end will determine how your next game goes, and the next game after that goes. Mass Effect does the same thing. Like, I got introduced to Mass Effect because of Dragon Age, you know, and I know the other people are on the opposite side. People got introduced to Dragon Age because of Mass Effect. They just, BioWare at that time period were just at the epitome of greatness with their choices in video game designs and development. And this kind of does have
story writing too.
Yeah,
their story writing
Remember
was
Empire?
The lore they wrote for both those games is just holy shit. You're talking about like a full continent's worth of lore. You're talking about a full galaxy's worth of lore. They were on top of shit when they did that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And it was just one of those things too. Like, now, like going back to what you were saying, I don't think that Guardians of Galaxy is there, like as far as how much choice is in Dragon Age, but it does resemble more of a choice that you can't see in Dragon Age. Just because, just from what I've been hearing about reviews and stuff, I haven't played any of these games, but I will be I'm more prone to get not Dragon Age, Guardians of the Galaxy sooner than me just being like, oh, well, I'll forget about it down the road. Like, I'll probably get it when it goes on sale down the road.
Yeah, I can agree.
So, I'm going to start off this one with category 4, and that is best art direction for outstanding creative. Outstanding.
Do we even need to?
Or technical achievement in the artistic
we have
design.
to make it official.
We have to make it official. Kenna Bridge of Spirits is my choice. Kenna Bridge of Spirits. So what we have here is the Artful Escape, Deathloop, Kenna Bridge of Spirits, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Honestly, the only other game that I can think of, as far as a corporate level, that may beat Kenna Bridge of Spirits would be the Artful Escape. That's the only other game I can think of that would beat Kenna Bridge of Spirits.
I don't know. I was looking at the Artful Escape. I was not impressed.
I was very impressed. I was like, "Where has this game been at?" I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
I just took a look at it, and it's not to say that like the art was bad at all. Like I thought the art was really good, but compared to Kenna Bridge of Spirits, like I'm sorry, like in terms of this category, we have not Kenna, not Kenna, Kenna, not Kenna, not Kenna. So at this point, it's Kenna.
It's Deathloop.
It's Deathloop. You know what? Deathloop keeps popping up. I really gotta try.
I don't know how.
It's been in every.
It's
Bethesda.
You said what?
You might as well just scratch this off and put Skyrim.
What'd you say, Gravity?
So my question is, do you guys think that Deathloop, like, how great of a game was it? Because I feel like there are certain games that get a lot of marketing, a lot of publicity, not from the actual fans or players, but from the people that are actually making and producing the game. And I tend to like see those games like near the top of a lot of game awards. And part of me is like, do those games really deserve that spot? And or like, is this just like there was just so much marketing and advertising pushed to it that like it's just here? Like, how good is Deathloop actually? Like, and that's not like an insult to it. It's like I'm genuinely curious because it's been in a lot of categories.
Non-ball.
Okay, let me just put it like this. Okay, to quote Todd Howard, it just works. Okay, it's just that good. It's just good. Okay.
I will say that's part of the reason why there are review companies out there that do take on games, get codes early, give their thoughts, because what they do is that it's not just the company just taking on a game just to play a game and give a review on a crappy review. They have people that's working there that's genuinely wanting to play this game. Like if I want to go ahead, if I work at GameSpot and FIFA comes out, like if I gave FIFA on over to Mildewy Carey, he might be like, all right, this is FIFA. Who cares? I don't care. But I'm like, give it to me. I'll review it. I'll be critical about it because this is a game that I love. You know what I mean? So I'm going to go ahead. If it sucks, I'm going to say it sucks. If it's amazing, I'm going to say it's amazing. So I think that's, and then of course you have different companies like IGN, Game Informer, Kind of Funny Games, Kotaku, all these different people that are getting these reviews and trying to give it to the public to kind of help them gauge their expectation and hype levels for these games. Deathloop, on every single review organization that I've came across, scored extremely high. So I do think that marketing does have something to do with it. But I also do think that the anticipation and people wanting to play this game, they tried it out and they were surprised by how well this game was, given how much of the game we have already seen at this point.
Two words: Todd Howard.
Okay, that gives me some hope because I remember like seeing the original trailer like drop like originally, and then I was like, wow, that actually looks really good. Like I'm actually really interested in it, but because it got delayed so much, I honestly completely forgot what it was about, and it's been in just the back of my mind this entire time. So now I'm like, oh, should I get it? But I mean, you know what? If it just works, then who am I to say?
Just works.
Who am I to say otherwise? But in terms of best art direction, what are we even doing, gentlemen?
Yeah. Well, let me ask you guys this then. Raise your hand if you think it's Kenna Bridge of Spirits. Okay, so we don't have to discuss this, but I do. I mean, like one thing I will just.
I want to do. Can I give like a maybe an honorable mention?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. The only other one I would see either coming close for me would probably be Psychonauts 2.
I was going to say the same thing.
Interesting.
Because of how the art direction is. It has a pretty unique style to it. on Psychonauts.
Now, unique doesn't always mean good. So is it a
It's
good,
good
unique?
unique.
Okay.
It's unique to itself, and from everything else, it's very clean cut and all, and very well put together. And their animations are pretty dang good
Yeah.
too. You know, so they've got really good. I mean, people could say Ratchet and Clank. I mean, look at that animation, look at that modeling and all. I'm like, I mean, we've seen that. It's kind of, it feels almost generical in a way half the time. Like, you know, so the Psychonauts 2 definitely kind of took it up there. But when Kenna came out,
Yeah.
I have never seen a game with that much beautiful graphics capabilities.
I had
Since like I don't know, like it's just you are literally playing a movie.
Yeah.
And the cutscenes are movie level quality. I am just like, you know, most of the other game stuff is like, you're just like, you see the game quality and it's like, all right, the game quality and the cutscenes are just kind of the same thing, so there's no difference. The gameplay with Kenna is very well done, very well built on, flushed out when you're playing it, but then just the animations are just, oh my god, just so good. So good. Bravo.
I had to ask if that was a good unique or a bad unique, because the way that Nine Ball said that was almost like you're a football coach trying to tell a parent's kid or a parent's kid that they're not really doing that well. They're like, how's my son doing? Oh, his talents are unique. You know what I mean?
Special kid, okay?
Yeah, that's what it sounded
It's
like.
a special play.
As you say they're unique, they run right into the goalpost.
It's really giving it his
Unique.
all out there.
The last category that we're going to discuss before we go inside story number 2, because we're just going to kind of go in and out of this one, is I do want to go ahead and go talk about the music. So I'm going to start this one with Gravity, and so for outstanding music, inclusive score, and original story and or licensed track. So we have Artful Escape, Cyberpunk 2077, yeah, it's finally there. Deathloop, Marvel's Galaxy, Guardians of the Galaxy, Near Replicant version 1 point, and a lot of numbers.
See, this is where I struggle because I sadly haven't really played any of these games, and I mean, personally, I still thought Kenna's music was absolutely beautiful, and I'm kind of disappointed that it's not on here. But
yeah.
But if these are up here, then that gives me even more hope, because at the very least, I'm expecting really great music from this. Like at the very least, with Guardians of the Galaxy, we already know the shtick with this. Like they're listening to 80s music. It's just all like mixtapes. So I'm like I've heard plenty of 80s music. I love me some 80s music, but like I'm looking for something a little bit more new, a little bit more original, and I'm sure Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy has it, but I honestly, like, if I'm being genuine here, like, I don't think I could give like a fair, honest answer here, because I just genuinely don't know.
I will say for me, and I know it's not my turn yet, but I will say for me, I don't know why Cyberpunk is up there. I didn't think the music was anything outstanding. Not because of the game itself, how it performed and stuff, because obviously we already know that launch was trash. But when I listen to the music of that game, there's nothing that sticks out. It's just like, oh yeah, this is awesome. No, there's not anything there. And I know Nier has some really great music. I know that has some really great music, and I know the Artful Escape, it's based on music. Like the game itself is music in general. Surprisingly, I've been hearing a lot of reviews of Marvel's of the Guardians of the Galaxy saying that not only is the music great, but the inclusion of the movie, where they put it, is fantastic. So it makes me wonder.
I'm like eating my words tonight. Like, I'm actually kind of happy. Like, I'm kind of happy that I'm like eating my words, because I'm like, oh, well then that gives me something to look forward to then.
Yeah. And I mean, and you are correct. They do still have like some 80s music in there, but they also have licensed music specifically for this game that I think
they also have special streaming music too.
Exactly. Yeah, they got special. Yeah, they got all that, and then also the the sounds. Okay. Yeah, the sounds that's in the game, like somehow like how the lasers sound, or like even just the way that they talk, or whatever the creatures, like the sound effect that the creatures make. All of that in general is what makes Guardians, I guess, a really great option for this, which is why it's up here. I was shocked to see Guardians up here, to be honest with you. I really was. I was expecting to see Kenna. I'm not gonna lie. The more though that I look at the corporate overall, when it comes down to the music of Kenna, surprisingly, not a lot of people liked it.
Really? I thought it was
Yeah.
amazing.
Dude,
Yeah.
I loved it.
Hey, I'm there
Just
with
the
you.
freaking title screen stuff was beautiful.
I literally am there with you.
Like the
a
download
lot of people did
screen,
not-
like when you're on the download waiting, like good God, I was like, oh,
Yeah, again, I'm with you guys. So don't shoot the messenger. I just know that a lot of people didn't like it, and that's why that's one of the reasons why it's not actually up here, which I was very shocked by. So
It's a disappointment.
yeah.
so what's your vote again?
My
I mean, then again,
yeah, my
Cyberpunk
vote.
has a lot of memes.
My vote would actually be the Artful Escape. That would be my vote. I know right now Gravity's on a standby since he hasn't played any of these and can't decide. But I want to know what Mildewy Carrot is thinking.
I'm actually on your boat with this one.
Artful Escape.
Not just because it's a well, actually it is because it is a game based on music, on this person's creative journey into creating their own style of music to be themselves, to be something new and unique. So you're gonna probably like, and I haven't played this game, but to me that sounds like you're gonna be hearing a bunch of different styles, a bunch of different themes. The music's going through these worlds, and to be honest, when I was watching some trailers, it looks like some freaking psychedelic trip. You know, like you're back at Woodstock taking the shit, and I mean, like, I see the future, man. I see it. You know. Don't get me wrong, Cyberpunk has some decent, music playing in it. Deathloop, I haven't heard much, but I'm pretty sure it's okay. I don't know about Nier Replicant 1.2. I played the original Nier. It's got some okay stuff in there, but it's not like anything to write home about. The only thing really is Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy has some pretty good stuff, so I could see it as a very strong second contender, as Malachi stated. But I just feel like Artful Escape has really got that unique aspect of its own creation of music and sound and all, because that seems like pretty much what the game is about. So I'm definitely going to be on your boat with the Artful Escape.
9-ball, corner pocket. Get the chalk.
I'm gonna have to go pull out a different boat. I'm going with Cyberpunk 2077.
Of course you would. Of course you would.
Actually, I liked some of the music. Quite a bit of it was pretty good. It matched the kind of thing, because basically everybody knows Johnny Silverhand was a rock singer of the band Samurai.
Yep.
I can't really. I mean, I like quite a bit of the music, actually. I kind of like some of it. It really matched the world itself. It had kind of like that techno theme to it on most of the song. Some of it I still listen to. The Artful Escape, I can't really speak on. I don't really know nothing about that. Nier Replicant, I've
Got great reviews.
yeah, I can't really. I'm sorry, I just don't know that much of it. I can't speak on it at all. So that one's out. Deathloop, I'm not really into. Marvel's Guardians, I can see it, and I think I've heard good things about Nier Replicant's tracks, but I don't recognize the composer at all.
Yeah.
So I gotta stick to what I know, which I actually do like. Cyberpunk, some of the music is really good. So I'm going with Cyberpunk on this one.
For a game that was supposed to be changing the generation, I would not be surprised if Cyberpunk doesn't win a single award this year.
I only think I've seen it in like one category, which is the sound.
I think it's two. I think there's two of them.
It's two categories it's in.
Yeah. But we are going to stop there at 5. I do want to kind of keep this train going. So next Tuesday, we're going to go do 5 more. And then the Tuesday after that, we're going to do 5 more. And then after that, right, Game Awards is on the, 9th?
9th.
Yeah, so on by the 7th, we're going to go ahead and go through all the last bit that's on here. And then we're going to, and then we'll be able to react to the stream on the 9th. Lord forgiving that we're all available.
We'll have to do 15 on the 7th to get ready for it, because there's 30 categories in this dang thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We'll do 5 today, 5 next week, 5 the Tuesday after, and then we'll do 15 on the week of.
Just talk about that VGA.
Yeah, pretty much. Because that's what it is. We'll be prepping for that. So, story number 2 that we have on here right now is It's All About Halo, baby. Ari Notice from Kotaku says on here, you might want to dust off your fake sneeze. Halo Infinite's multiplayer component, which is initially slated for a December 8th release, is available today. Microsoft announced the news during the Xbox 20th anniversary stream, and yes, it's still separate free-to-play mode. I'm suddenly not feeling so hot, boss. Halo Infinite's multiplayer mode is technically in beta for those first few weeks, developer 343 Industries said on Twitter, but the first season, Heroes of Reach, starts today. All of your progression will carry over to the full game when it releases in December. Season 1 will run through May 22nd, 2022. Notably, when Halo Infinite launches in December, it won't do so with a cooperative campaign function or with player creation forge mode. In August, 343's Joseph Staten said that I almost read Joseph Stalin. So anyway, Joseph Staten said that the co-op campaign would come to the game's second season, while Forge is planned for the third. That's the end story there. Also, a little tidbit from Haley Williams from GameSpot says, barely a day after the surprise early release of Halo Infinite's multiplayer, the game has debuted high in Steam's daily chart as platformer's third most played game. At the time of writing, Steam's top game list shows the game a 24-hour peak of 272,586 concurrent players, with the current player count not too much further behind. The game's surprise multiplayer release has swiftly overtaken Steam favorites like Apex Legends and PUBG, as well as Amazon's most recent MMORPG, New World, only sitting behind Dota 2 and Counter-Strike Go. End story. So first and foremost, all right, so you guys already know I've been on it by trying to get everyone, make sure that everyone's aware that Halo had surprise dropped. I know there was leaks over the weekend, but it is actually confirmed. Halo is here. You can play it on your PC for free. And you don't have to have an Xbox Game Pass. You can just download it on Steam and it just works. You can go ahead and have your Xbox Series X and S. Yes, I went ahead and quoted Todd Howard right there, the 9-ball. But yeah, you can have it on your Series S/X. Again, Game Pass or not, if you do have Game Pass, you can actually play it off of your phone. You just have to have a good, strong enough phone that will hold it, an Xbox a wireless controller, and play it that way. Ladies and gentlemen, where are we at? Are we playing Halo this week? Talk to me. I don't care who goes first. Just go. Just go.
I already got Phasmophobia.
I got to download it on my Steam account right now.
Okay.
I'll probably do it after some Phasmophobia, though.
All right. I'll play solo. That's fine. I don't need friends.
We'll join you eventually. I like that.
Jeez.
It sounds like it's a one-time only thing.
You guys already know my history with
shooters.
With like shooters in general. Just the people I played with back in the day were just not like, they didn't really explain games to me very well, and if I didn't keep up, it was just like ugh. So
that
like,
was me in sports games.
Yeah, so it was just like, I already like looking at Halo just in general, like where people like have this like really great memory of it. I just remember being like really upset and frustrated most of the time, like not because because I actually haven't played any of the story. Like I know the story's really great. I've just only played like, I think I've played like the story of like Reach, I think, and that's it. Like I know the general story as it is, but in terms of like the multiplayer, I'm just like, like I just was one of those people that was like, oh my god, I love Halo. I'm like, no, like I kind of made fun of those people, not gonna lie. But, like I'm just like, well, it's like, it's to me, I'm just like, oh, it's like the old Call of Duty people. But like, I'm definitely gonna download it. I'm definitely gonna play it. But I will say, like, it's not first on my list. I still have Demon Slayer. I still have Pokemon coming out. Still got Phasmophobia playing with you guys. You see, there's another game that was coming out soon that I had. Don't remember what it was gonna be. Let's just say that, like, it's not gonna be like the first game I'm gonna pick up. Like, I have other games that I'm gonna like go to, and that's another thing too, is that like, especially like for the rest of this year and like moving forward, like I'm definitely gonna be like being more picky with some of the games I get. But like this one's gonna be like free to play, right? Like at least the multiplayer portion is.
Yeah, multiplayer for Halo is free to play.
Now that I do like, I will say, I think that that's probably one of the best moves that they could have made. I think that that's like a really great decision, like for all games moving forward. Like If you have a story, if you really want to put that out there, see if the people buy it. And if you have like a multiplayer feature, just throw that out there for free and just let people like mess around in your multiplayer.
And here's the thing about it. I think the reason why they did it this way is because Halo is going to be on Game Pass. So the campaign is going to be on Game Pass. So they're just like, you know what? They're getting the game for free already. Let's go ahead and open this up. And then if people like the actual multiplayer, they want to jump inside the game campaign, they can either A, spend $70 for the campaign, or B, sign up for a Game Pass. Your first month ever, $1. After that, it's like $15 a month. So I feel like that's something that is kind of like, again, a residual for them. Because honestly, if you really think about it, 4 months, they paid for the entire game almost. And then if you're a Game Pass subscriber, you're overpaying for the game. But it's not just the game. It's the capability to have access to this whole library of games that are coming out on Game Pass. So and from what it sounds like and is what it seems like, anything that is an Xbox exclusive are just going to be on Game Pass indefinitely. Like it's not going to be like it's like how for some of these Game Pass third party games are. It's not going to be there for X amount of time and then leave. Like it's just going to be on Game Pass because they just want it on Game Pass. So
good, how it should be.
All's
right with the world.
Any more commentary on this before we talk about Elder Scrolls 6?
I think they're doing the free multiplayer just because you kind of see that with Call of Duty and Apex and all that, to where it's like they got the multiplayers out there for free, but then you've got these seasons. Like the season pass kind of is a big streamer for me, saying they're kind of going to do what these other teams are doing and give you like these unique character skins, helmets, gears, icons, emblems by buying these battle passes and going through it. And also they're just trying to jump on that train early to get people hyped up for Halo, and then they'll launch the campaign and people then dive into it then. But I feel like they're
I'm kind of mixed on that, and I only say that because yes, Call of Duty has been doing it, but the style that they're doing it in is strictly Battle Royale. There are other game modes. You have to buy the game in order to play those other online game modes.
Yeah, like zombies and all those.
Yeah, even for Team Deathmatch or whatever, which was definitely popular back in the day, that is now still part of the game. You have to buy it. This, for Halo, you have big team battle. They don't have a battle royale right now. It's just big team battle. It's the capture the flag. Like all those other game modes, those are all... Yeah.
Well, that's why I didn't mention game modes. I didn't mention anything about the game modes because I understand that. I played Halo multiplayer back originally on the Xbox and 360.
Right.
So I get that. But what they're doing is getting that multiplayer aspect out there of those team death matches, of these, solo, eliminations, capture the hills, whatever new stuff they put in there, to where they can do it. And they do have the capability, especially with like Halo 4, like they had the capability of getting bigger maps. Like you could build bigger maps. I think it was in Halo 3 or 4. Like you could do like these large maps with like large player teams of like 10 people or more. So it's got the capability of building these bigger matches in there, especially with these newer systems. I wouldn't be surprised if they had like maybe like 10v10 matches or something like that. Capture the Hills, King of the Hill, whatever, So, but what they're doing is they're taking advantage of the multiplayer team groups that are out there in those battle royales, saying, "Hey guys, here's something that's not a battle royale. It's like multiplayer deathmatch, objective based stuff with a battle pass included." Because we're seeing Call of Duty kind of getting away from the battle royale-ish aspect, where they've got these missions of escort missions going, carrying supplies and all, and like TBF Abyss has been playing that more often. They also do other aspects of like just gold hunts or random events besides just the battle royale and Warzone. So we are seeing them kind of getting away from the full battle royale thing to getting more of like, here's some like event style things or mission based style multiplayer games that really kind of keep people intrigued. But I think Halo's got that better because they've always had that capability. So they're just really getting involved with the multiplayer group, saying, "Hey guys, so
look what we got."
Let alone, I got
much.
2 things: Warhammer and the Needler. Okay.
Yep. You mean the noob weapon? You mean the new weapon in the Seeking Boom Boom? You know?
Yes, I used to love to just light people up with a whole clip of Needler and just watch them blow up.
Just give me a sword. Just give me a sword, you know?
No, it's even
Dash.
funnier. Is like you don't even have to track them with the needlers. It will just like unless they can get behind cover right away, they pretty much will die. Like because it just seeks them out. It's like I got you, I see you, I got you. Don't you get behind that barrel? Or if you could just pull it right and just fire up above it and just curve it down, like that thing is nasty if you use it right.
You know, it's also nasty. Are we still in doubt? Elder Scrolls 6. Story number 3.
Oh god. What about Elder Scrolls 5 Anniversary Edition?
I know, right? Jason Gusau from Game Informer says in his article here, the immense benefits of the Xbox Bethesda acquisition continue to trickle down the new IPs, Starfield, and upcoming chapters of the revolutionary franchises, Elder Scrolls 6, are being developed for next-gen technology. At E3, we learned that the former will be an Xbox exclusive in Day 1 Game Pass edition. Information surrounding the next Elder Scrolls title, however, has been much harder to come across. Still, a GQ interview with Xbox's leading man Phil Spencer unearthed some exciting news detail about the Bethesda flagship video game series. Nothing is yet confirmed yet, but Phil Spencer envisions Elder Scrolls 6 as an Xbox exclusive. This exclusivity would be a groundbreaking decision for the game's community and the Western RPG scene if cleared. Quote, Starfield arguably is the biggest game of 2022 will be on Xbox and PC only. End quote. The GQ article reads, quote, Spencer says he sees the same for Elder Scrolls 6. And end quote. Spencer himself went on to say that having sole rights to both highly anticipated Bethesda titles isn't about, quote, punishing any other platforms. Instead, quote, in order to be on Xbox, I want us to be able to bring the full complete package of what we have, and that would be true when I think about Elder Scrolls 6. That would be true when I think about any of our franchises, end quote. The Elder Scrolls 6 might use the same overhauled engine as Starfield, but its release is so far off. Todd Howard confirmed that the game is still in its design phase. This, of course, is a little deflating considering the first teaser was released 3 years ago. On the other hand, Starfield drops next year on November 11th for Xbox Series X, S, and PC. End story. So, I know for me in particular, this story honestly doesn't really do anything for me because the only Elder Scrolls I really got into was Oblivion, and that was it. Like, I haven't jumped into Skyrim heavy. I haven't even from Morrowind, I haven't really fully dove into that. I take it back. I did go ahead and jump on Tamriel Unlimited, and I did have a good time with that. But even then, like, I still haven't fully came back to that. So, like, Elder Scrolls is definitely a game that I'm interested in, but it's not one that I'm like, I have to have this right now. However, with that being said, this does kind of suck for anybody that was introduced into the franchise on the PlayStation. And I don't think it's on Nintendo. I could be wrong about that. But
yeah, it's on Nintendo.
It's on Nintendo?
Skyrim's
Okay.
on Nintendo.
So with that being said, anyone that's on Nintendo and anyone that's on PlayStation, if you were introduced to the Elder Scrolls series and was going with it and really, really into it, have that sucked away from you, that does suck. That does suck. And I could see more people like I know people will be like, well, Sony fans don't have the right to be upset about this because they got exclusives, all that stuff. I honestly can't, and they are right to a degree because there are some, like Spider-Man, I understand that being a Sony exclusive and all that good stuff. Now, granted, that is Insomniac, but regardless, I understand that. However, I don't recall a time period ever where there was a game that was originally on Xbox and then Sony was just like, nope, it's just a Sony exclusive. You can't have it anymore.
Yeah, Final Fantasy.
No, that was always PlayStation. Before that
No,
was... No,
Final Fantasy
the Final Fantasy series
was on Xbox.
Yeah, it was on Super Nintendo. It was on Super Nintendo first, and then I'm talking about from the very beginning, like the very first Final Fantasy, all that stuff. Even if you got attached to the Final Fantasy, it was all the way like across that whole franchise was always on Nintendo. Then came on for the PlayStation and stayed on PlayStation all the way through. I don't think even with Nintendo, I don't know if they gave it up. or if that was just bought out, because Square Enix is not owned by PlayStation.
I think they went to PlayStation because PlayStation was using much more advanced tech to really kind of bring out the games of Final Fantasy, especially with PlayStation 1 and 2, versus what Nintendo had, which was the N64 and then the Game Boy. So they didn't have the capability of really bringing the vision together. So I feel like once they really saw that Sony was really going forward with what they were doing in terms of technology and capabilities, they kind of jumped ship and went over there because they wanted to really bring out a better style game and artistic style for it, which, to be honest, nowadays that type of style would not have been able to run too well on the systems that they had at the time. Even though Nintendo is getting forward, you see what Sony's done. Like they're just shooting up and just really bringing out the capabilities. So,
but even with that explanation, that was a studio decision to do that. It wasn't like Sony was just like, "Hey, you're with us, you can't go anywhere else." You know what I mean? Like as you mentioned, they were with Nintendo for a while. Then the first one that I know that I really got introduced to was 7 on PlayStation, and then they stayed with, like, it's been on PlayStation ever since. But even with that being said, even like moving forward, except for Final Fantasy 16, that's going to be PlayStation and PC only. Even with that, like all the other Final Fantasy titles have been going on over to Xbox as well. I can't think of a single game that, again, was originally on one platform, and then the PlayStation themselves or Nintendo themselves is just like, nope, you guys, even though you guys are in this franchise, you can't have it anymore.
There's a second one I can say.
What's that?
Bayonetta.
Nintendo, the Nintendo game?
Yeah.
Yep.
Bayonetta is a Nintendo exclusive because Nintendo funded it. That's the reason why it went over there.
To
Bayonetta
talk about for Xbox?
No.
So Bayonetta 1...
No. I'm talking about... Yeah, so go ahead.
Bayonetta 1 was on all systems,
right.
But then Bayonetta 2 was exclusively taken to Nintendo.
Now, with that being said, Bayonetta 1, was that already and generally funded by Nintendo? The very first one. So who...
No, that was Platinum.
So then Nintendo went ahead and bought Bayonetta?
They bought the rights to it.
Right.
That's why a lot of people got ticked about it. Now, I think it is getting ready to...
That's the reason why people was mad about that one, but was not mad because Nintendo bought it. This one, I'm sad to say. I mean, I hate to see it go to just them. I mean, I'm not saying I'm proud to see Nintendo. I mean, PlayStation and lose the rights if it comes true, because really, I think it should come on to all consoles. With I mean, to be honest, either way it goes, it doesn't affect me either way.
Cause you got it all.
I'm buying it on PC regardless.
Right.
Oh yeah.
You buy Elder Scrolls on PC, you mod the mess out of it because you know the community's going to do it.
Oh God, I'm pretty sure they're already getting their packages set.
Yeah, they're going to do it. So I'm going to get it on PC, mod the mess out of it, and play it. But I mean,
the only way to play it.
The Elder Scrolls series has been around for a long time. Arena, Daggerfall, what was it? Arena, Daggerfall, Morrowind. The first two came out only on PC. The third one, which was Morrowind, I believe, was only on Xbox.
Let's
check that. Oblivion, I think, came out on everything.
That was the one that
Oblivion and Skyrim came out on every device I could think of, even toasters, refrigerators, and still it's releasing.
And PC only.
And yeah, because it was good. It was just a buggy mess, but it was great.
Yep.
But I mean, it might not be that bad because they say they're gonna update the engine, but I swear to God, if they use that same Game Bro engine, if the characters look like they still walking the same, but look like
which engine did they say they were gonna use again?
They're using
something called the Game Bro engine, which it's outdated. Yeah. The only reason why, to me, that it's not as big of a deal, because to be honest, again, Skyrim for me was not, and people gonna be surprised, even though I logged in 100 hours, I don't think it was like the best game ever. I play it because I love the mods. If you didn't make mods on that game, I wouldn't play it as much. I'm being truthful. I mean, the biggest reason why I play that game is because you get like a ton of mods, you remake the game, and then you play it. Because the base game itself was, I would say, 7.5, 8 out of 10. I don't think it was like fantastic, but it's still a fun game to play, and it's sad to see it go away from the other markets. And I thought at first that they wasn't going to do that, because they was talking at first like they was going to try to leave some of this stuff alone. But it's, I mean,
well, it kind of does go back to the whole thing. All right, so first and foremost, I want to make sure that this is clear. It makes perfect sense business-wise.
Yeah.
This makes perfect sense business-wise. You can't argue that. The thing the thing about it is that, one, it goes back to me saying you've had it on these other platforms for so long, for so many different games, and now you're just taking it away. And they made the statement that we don't want to punish other people, whatever. You're punishing other people. That's what you're doing. Because you even said in a statement before that they're still honor like legacy, like anything that's going to be legacy or whatever, like that's not going to be messed with. This is obviously under that same umbrella. Like, this is literally under that same umbrella. There's a whole franchise with that. So I do think that, again, business-wise, I get it. It makes sense. Honestly, even if I was like, oh, I really want to get the new Elder Scrolls, I'm in a position to where I can do that. It's not going to affect me because I have a PC, which I'm streaming off of now. I have an Xbox Series X. It doesn't really affect me in that manner. However, I will still say that the movement, this is almost like as if going back to 2018 Spider-Man, pretending that came out on Nintendo and Xbox, and then for the next Spider-Man 2, PlayStation's just like, nope, you guys can't have it. That's what that would be like. Now, with it already being a PlayStation exclusive, no one's expecting it to go anywhere else, and that's a little disappointing. Again, business decisions, I get it, but no one's gonna have that ill will, be like, oh, well, I can't get this because I've been. That's almost like, all right, let me say this. This is almost like you're watching a really good movie, and like right when you're about to go ahead and get ready for the second movie, you love the first one, you're ready for the second movie, you go to that same theater, and they're like, nope, we don't have it at AMC, we only have it at the Marcus Theater. And like, but I only have tickets for the AMC. Oh, sorry, you gotta go to the Marcus, you can't do it anywhere else. I was like, what? Like,
how'd you get the tickets for the AMC if AMC doesn't have it?
Yeah, well, for the first one.
Tickets, did you? Well, what? Oh,
yeah.
I mean, I will say, like regarding like your comparison there, I will kind of make note of that, because like if it was something like 2018 Spider-Man, like from PlayStation, going from PlayStation being to Xbox, like that would be really big. Now, I'll say this: we've seen like how many times has Elder Scrolls, at the very least, like more recently Skyrim, been remade? Like, when did that originally release? Because that released
2011, 11.
Yeah, 2011. So, my thing is this: it's released several times since then. It's been about a decade since it originally released. I think a decade is enough time for you to be able to say, yeah, maybe I can buy another gaming console. Like and I hate to say that, but it's just kind of like if you really want to play it, you're going to go to where the games are and you're going to buy the console. If it doesn't mean that much to you, then you're just not going to play it. Or you'll save up your money, maybe get it, maybe you'll get or a PC. And at the very least, that's just kind of how I'm looking at it.
Now to your point on that, and then we'll move on to the next story on this one. But to your point on that, like, yes, it came out in 11/11. You have a decade to go ahead and get another console if you want to. But at the same time, at that time, you're not expecting it. You're expecting it to come out on all platforms still because you're used to it being on all platforms. You know what I mean? So like, now if they had said at the very beginning of, like, the game came out on all platforms on 2011, and then 2013 they make an announcement, be like, hey, just so you guys know, 2021 moving forward, all Elder Scrolls titles are going to be on Xbox. Then you would have more of an argument there because then you have all this time to do it. But up until last year, people are still wondering if it's still going to come out on all consoles or not. I mean,
it might.
They're pretty much
still not. Writing's not on the wall yet.
It's not, but you know what they're saying. It's gonna be like that's kind of what they're saying. Even with the Phil Spencer statement in there, where he's just like, "Oh, we don't mean to punish other games. We just want it to be where Xbox lives." Is Xbox going to live on PlayStation? Maybe by then, possibly, but I just really don't think so.
Satan, aka Todd Howard, hasn't spoken yet.
He spoke up late about the Starfield thing. Like it wasn't until it was announced as Xbox exclusive.
I wasn't surprised on that one.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Brand new IP, of course that makes sense. Put that on Xbox exclusive. Like that's not in the same camp as Elder Scrolls. Elder Scrolls this is the 6th one. That means there's the other ones that were on multiple platforms. For Starfield, that's the first one ever. That makes complete sense to put it on Xbox only.
But it makes, like you said,
real fast. Mildew wants to get off the horse real fast. Go ahead.
I mean, I can't say anything without tricking you all again, so I'm just going to leave it at that. But Nineball, it looks like they're using the same engine as Starfield, which is the Creation engine.
Well, is that game, bro, with a different name?
No. That literally is the one that for 6. Kinetics, hello, what are we chatting about?
It was made by Bethesda Game Studios.
Yeah, it's probably Game Bro with a different. I swear to God, if they still look like they walk the stage.
Real quick, Kinetics says, hello, what are we chatting about? We were talking about the acquisition for Elder Scrolls 6, where it looks like it's going to be an Xbox exclusive, which is not really news, but I know that it's still not quote-unquote confirmed, but this all goes without saying that's pretty much confirmed to be Xbox exclusive. So yeah, that's the topic right now.
Gamebryo was used for is used by developers GameBase USA and GameBase CO Ltd. This one was developed. Creation Engine was developed by Bethesda.
Oh my God, I'm pretty.
It was used for Elder Scrolls, Skyrim, Fallout 4, and Fallout 76.
Yep. And you seen Fallout 76.
Yeah.
Well, Fallout 76 is more just because of what they did, try to do a multiplayer MMO game.
It just works.
Hey, we appreciate you, Kinetics. It says, I met your brother, I'm sorry, I don't remember, named Brandon a few weeks ago, told me to come and follow you guys and check you guys out when you guys go live. Yeah, no, we appreciate you. Yeah, I mean, again, we're just nerding out here, having a good time. Again, talking about video game news, all the good stuff. And we are actually on story number 4, which is a quick one here. Where is Smite Night News? Daniel Tech from Game Informer says, collaborations are everywhere. Naruto in Fortnite. Ed Sheeran in Pokemon Go. Anime in World of Warships. The world is more fun when these things collide, isn't it? They're everywhere. Today, the Transformers come to high-res MOBA Smite. Smite has a notable amount of crossover material over the years, everything that the Legend of Korra to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Today, the rosters of brands gets bigger as the Autobots roll out into the lands of the gods. As with other collaborations, the new skins layers over existing guides, so don't expect to actually get a tailored Optimus Prime move set or anything, though you'll look quite stylish. The skins you can acquire consist of Optimus Prime for Geb, Megatron for Raw, and you put an exclamation mark at the end of Raw, and Starscream for Jingwei. Of the 3,
that's a weird one.
Starscream for Jingwei? No, that makes perfect sense. Of the 3, you definitely want the Megatron one, right? Raw is a lot of fun anyway, so do him up as Megatron is sure to be a blast, pun intended. Yes. So there you go. Anyone that is currently watching us on Smite Night and everything like that, as we're raging, we're finishing out the year with Smite Night, and then our Thursday nights. We'll probably still play Smite, but I don't think it'll be a continuous stream. It'll just be whenever we feel like. Whenever we feel like it.
It's gonna be our sin segment, strength in numbers.
Yep, on Thursday.
It's gonna be our Phasmophobia if we can get Gravity killed segment.
Story number 5 we have on here is a Dragon Ball Z game, Unexpected.
Is it another fighter game based on the storyline of DBZ?
No, I'm glad you asked. It's Rebecca Valentine from IGN says this in her story. Forget the Dragon Ball fantasies of being Goku and blasting Cell out of the sky. Bandai Namco just announced a Dragon Ball The Breakers, an upcoming asymmetrical online multiplayer game where you can either be Cell or one of the 7 people trying to run the heck away from his particular brand of chaos. Dragon Ball The Breakers puts you in an oversized boots of either a Raider, Cell, Boo, or Frieza, or one of 7 quote-unquote survivors who must cooperate to try and escape the temporal anomaly they're stuck in before the raider blasts them into oblivion. Aside from just running around and hiding, survivors can work to customizably skill trees, use items like weapons and grappling hooks, and hop into vehicles to eventually escape via a super time machine. The trailer shows off a number of examples of gameplay, including rocket launchers and other gun-like weapons, and Oolong shapeshifting into a potted plant to hide from Cell. The Breakers is part of the Dragon Ball Xenoverse universe and will include some of the sort of tie-in to save data the Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 for those who have it.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I don't like. Again, it looks interesting, just enough to try. I don't know how I feel about the game as far as it like having longevity of survival later on, but I do think it looks interesting enough to try and just kind of have fun with it. What are you guys' thoughts about this?
I think if they do it right, they could probably definitely get at least a decent following and fan base behind it, because you've already got like a huge DBZ group. The fact that they're kind of pulling out a survival aspect, kind of like
Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th and Dead by Daylight type of thing, kind of, it's very interesting to see, and I can't wait to see how they do it with that, with like, you know, getting the survivors, the skill trees, and, you know, trying to get out of there and all. So I'm actually kind of interested. I would want to see more gameplay in their build and all, and it just depends upon, you know, also how much they're gonna, if they're gonna do free to play, or if they're gonna, you have to buy the game, how much the game is, you know, that sort of stuff. So it definitely sounds interesting. Yeah, I'm definitely glad they're breaking away from the standard. Oh, here's another DBZ game.
Away.
Yes, I did that on purpose. Anyways, sorry, keep you laugh. I'm definitely glad they're getting away kind of from the standard just fighter game through the storyline of DBZ. You know, even though they do like cards and all these different aspects, I feel like it's way too overdone. So to see a survival game in this universe is kind of interesting. Like I said, want to see more. I'm very piqued.
Now I'm kind of curious if one of the ways you can survive is by like waiting until Goku gets there or Vegeta gets there.
From what they've written here, sounds like it's, you're not going to have them in there. It's more like you have to get out and get away. So kind of like, I think when we tried Friday the 13th, it's like you had to get the car built and grow and then get
out there. Yeah.
So it's like you probably have like maybe like the time ship. You maybe have Popo's ship. Maybe you'll have like the Saiyan ships or something. You know, it probably just depends upon who you're facing off against, you know?
Well, that's the thing, is that even in Friday the 13th, there wasn't just one way you can escape. There was multiple ways.
Yeah.
That was one of them. And another way that you could do it is if you were a girl and got to, I think it was found Jason's hut and put on his mask or something like that, then you can win it that way. So I'm wondering, obviously you use the time capsule to escape that way, but I'm wondering if one of the ways that you can do it is if there's an NPC that you have to call Goku to get there, and there's an X amount of time you have to survive until he gets there and beats Cell. Even though he won't actually be controllable, but might be something that's like that. Like Cell gets there, I mean Goku gets there, and you all survive.
Someone gets there or something.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, we'd
cool.
have to see once they give us more gameplay aspects and all. But like you said, you know, I'm very curious and it's very interesting. So it's like, all right, let's see what you guys got.
Yeah. It's a nice little, I mean, again, I don't know if this is the answer, but it is a nice little change of pace from the Dragon Ball Z style games that we normally get and see.
I liked the Xenoverse 2.
Just
Just the breakaway from it. Still playing in the timelines, but having that modified timeline of time travel, they did it so well.
It felt different. It felt unique. You create your person for the first time.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So good, and I loved it. So this is definitely another good breakaway, in my opinion. So I feel like it's a right direction for them. Like I said, if they take their time, do it well, I feel like they could really have a good game.
Yeah, we don't need the same stories over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
We can go home and watch them. We can watch 4chan. We can watch the abridged version.
I love me some Xenoverse. I really do. A huge fan of the franchise. It's like, I will say, like, at least for me, I got to a point, maybe I just played it too much, but like I got kind of sick of Xenoverse after a while. Like, and maybe it was just like the gameplay that I got sick of. Especially like when you played, like, there are certain matches in Xenoverse where like you just like all of your attacks, like they just break any of your blocks, which like especially in Xenoverse 2, like when they break your blocks, it stuns you for like too long. that you just get absolutely destroyed. So like and I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer. I'm just trying to be maybe devil's advocate here. But I will say, like, I did just watch the trailer for Breakers. It looks a lot more interesting than I thought it did. Because at the very beginning, like when we started this, I was like, meh, like I don't know. Like to me, it just sounds like it sounds like they're just trying to throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks. And I was like, oh, that doesn't sound very good. That just sounds like they're just like, we should try this. I'm like, out of everything, that's what you came up with? Like I still am waiting for a Dragon Ball kind of cross Dragon Age kind of story. Because I think that would be really sick. I think that if they actually had, like, because to me, that just sounds like Xenoverse, like, on steroids, where you can play from the beginning of Dragon Ball all the way through, but literally the entire thing is just dependent upon what decisions you make. So
Almost
you can
like a
maybe
Marvel's
make
What
a
If.
decision back. Yeah, so like you could make a decision while you're playing as Goku back in the Dragon Ball days that affects some decisions and events that happen all the way in the Z era, if not the Super era. And so I think that that could be really interesting if it's done well. But I think this is a game that, like, looking at it, like, I did get to see, like, they showed, like, a little bit of gameplay where it did show, like, Oolong, like, on top of a building, like, just shooting a rocket, like, shooting a rocket launcher at Cell. I think that's really cool. Like, if the entire thing is that it's a whole open world city that you can run around in to try to escape Cell, I think that's cool. I did see a couple other shots where it had like all 7 people like running away like in the same time, and I got very much so like Temple Run vibes from it. Like I'm like, cool. Like, is this is this a side scroller?
It's asymmetrical.
Yeah. So I think you're going back to your pitch right there. I think you're the idea of you having a Dragon Age style game would be 1,000% fantastic. I think we shouldn't play as Goku though. I think we should have our own character, maybe run into Goku, and then if you decide to choose the same choices as the Dragon Ball Z franchise, then you're playing the same Dragon Ball Z game if you like to. If you don't want to do that, then your choices will be like maybe you become the bad guy, and then later on you have to fight Goku, or maybe you just go with Goku throughout the entire story or something like that. I think that would be great. I think that would be something.
Maybe Goku's from that universe where he never went to Earth. He was never sent there, and now you, as someone who's on Earth,
Vegeta
has to do something, or maybe some other baby got sent there, instead of Goku, and then you're that kid, or maybe you're an Earthling, or maybe you're, someone else like it from the universe. Maybe a Boo form got stuck there somehow, and like you then go through that evolution stage through kind of like almost a DBZ timeline base of like. Because eventually Frieza would still come to Earth in a way. Or maybe Goku comes to Earth, Vegeta comes, or something like that. So you're eventually going to have to get up there. It's an interesting concept, something that you'd be neat to see if they were working on. But in terms of Breakers, I think they have a good idea here. I just want to see the finalized product, the cut, print, paste, polish thing before I truly get involved. But from what it sounds like from Gravity said from the trailer, it seems like they're kind of on the right track. So.
That was a fantastic way to bring it right back to Breakers there. Mildewey. Fantastic way. Yeah. Do you have any commentary on that 9-ball concerning Breakers?
No, they basically said most of it. I mean, to be honest, it looks interesting. It's kind of like you just got to run, find your way to escape, which could be fun if they do it right. The only thing is, how do you keep people coming back?
Yeah.
Which could be the big thing.
DLC. I mean, you can bring in the movie characters. You can bring Broly. You can bring in Turles. You can bring in Tria Might.
Yeah, but you don't want to. I mean, you don't want to bring them characters in. I mean,
you don't want to bring those characters in. I want to run away from Cooler.
The thing about it is, you kind of want to. You kind of want them to feel like the survivor. I mean, if you make everybody Saiyans and stuff, I mean, it kind of takes away from the point of making it asymmetrical. I can't say the word today.
From what it sounds like, you're not going to be a Saiyan. Especially when you mention Cell, like it makes me think of like when Cell's going around the cities just terrorizing the people. Especially if they mention Oolong. Yeah, Oolong's got that ability of transforming, but I don't think it's going to be anyone like Tien, Chaozu, Yamcha, like that.
Yeah.
No, I think it's just you're going to be a person in there who has no abilities, and you're going to have to use the environment. So if anything, maybe multiple different maps, different settings in the cities, because you're in a whole world of there. Definitely different, different bosses would be cool. Definitely bring in some more people, so have different effects, different abilities while they're hunting and all. Different equipment items in there, maybe.
Different game
Maybe some
objectives,
different
I think.
skills with the people, because I know like Dead by Daylight and Friday the 13th, you've got different people in there that have different skill trees, different capabilities that they can bring to it. So especially with the mention of skill tree, you've got a lot you can play there. And maybe kind of like Borderlands, I'm going to kind of go off on the tangent here. Borderlands uses 3 different skill trees for one character, but each character has a different skill set and style of play. So maybe they have that aspect in where, like, these 5 are this way, these 5 are this way, or these 5 are this way, and then you build a team of 7 off of it.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of play capabilities they can work with. We just got to see them do it right. So we'll have to wait for more on the writing aspect and everything, because they've only just shown us Oolong using the ability to transform hideaway, but everyone else is just running. So we'll have to wait and see.
And that's you hit the nail right on the head. I'm not saying that we're going to be the Super Saiyans, because that's not what this game is going to be about. We're the citizens trying to work together and survive. I'm saying that the DLC characters that they could bring in would be the villains, like Turles, like Broly, like Dead Zone guy. I can't remember what his name is. Like Dr. Gero. Like literally all these villains that were known and maybe even killed by Goku or whoever. Or Vegeta, like maybe it would be the Ginyu Force, like some of the characters from the Ginyu Force would be there. Whatever it is, they're the ones that's terrorizing us. And then if you were to get DLC characters as far as like the civilians, bring in Bulma's mom and dad. You know what I mean? Bring in Master Roshi without the fight, like he's just running. He's not actually fighting or something like that. It would be more along the lines like weaker characters that can't just 1v1 these guys because they stand absolutely no chance.
Oh my god, bringing Bulma and Chi-Chi in.
bring in Chi-Chi, you know what I mean?
So, Bulma's it. I did see that there was a Bulma skin.
Yeah.
Like, it was a Dragon Ball Bulma skin.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I'll believe it when I see it, but I'm like, I feel like character creation would be a thing unless they give you like certain styles of characters to play as, like they do in Dead by Daylight or Friday the 13th. But who knows?
And that's kind of where I think that, like, with them saying specifically that's in the Xenoverse world, I don't think you would say that unless there's character creation. So that's the reason why I think that there is going to be character creation for the civilians. But I digress. We're going to talk about on the next episode of ALWT Gaming. On here, final story number 6. The delays don't end. Eddie Mackich from GameSpot says the Vampire the Masquerade Battle Royale game Blood Hunt has been delayed. Developer Shark Mob has announced that following the early release testing phase, it has decided to take more time to get the game in better shape, releasing in 2022. I'm going to stop right there and say, yeah, right. We just know that you decided to delay it because Halo had dropped, Shadow dropped on you, and if you had dropped it at any point this year, that would have been terrible. But anyway, back to the story.
It was 1 point.
Yeah, it was previously planned to launch across PC and PlayStation 5 later in 2021. In a blog post, Shark Mob said that more than 2 million people have created accounts for early access period and racked up more than 26 million kills. Based on feedback, and that's, by the way, the beta is what they're talking about. Based on the feedback from the testing phase, Shark Mob said it needs to, quote, work harder to meet the high standards that both we and the developers and you, the players, expect. The studio added, based on the key learnings from this early season, we have decided to take the extra time needed to address the valuable feedback we have received and postpone the release date until early 2022. End story. And I kind of was, again, I know I had kind of mentioned a little something there. I do think that, again, that they had delayed the game specifically because this news came out today. And I think that it's smart to delay what you have because, again, no one's going to be playing a battle royale when they can just go on over to Halo for free. No one's going to be doing that right now. Like, the only games I think that will survive right now in the battle royale multiplayer free era is games like Apex, Fortnite, and Valorant. I'm not even sure Valorant's even free. But I'm just saying in general, like, those types of games that already have an establishment are still going to be up there. They might take a little hit because people are just like, Halo, this is new, I'm going to jump into that. But new games that's just now dropping, I don't think taking a hit. Yeah, I don't think at this point that they are going to be successful, and I think that the creators and developers of Blood Hunt knows that. And on top of that, I think that they specifically said early 2022, because knowing if you wait any longer in 2022, it might just get lost inside the shuffle even more of what's saturated in the world of called battle royales. We have so many of them. We have too many of them. All different types now.
Well, not only just saturated in terms of the battle royals, but you got to look what's coming out in early 2022. You got several good games coming, especially like Horizon Forbidden West is scheduled to come out early 2022.
Elden Ring.
Elden Ring, like you got a lot of anticipation, so they're going to have to try and get out as early as they can because you're going to possibly lose them to it. But I definitely agree that one aspect probably that really kind of cinched it was definitely Halo Shadow dropping on them, for sure. Definitely kind of helped cinch the plans, but I kind of agree with their statements because there was like a lot, from what I heard, some definitely bug issues going on in Blood Hunt during the beta testing. So I feel like with both those aspects in mind, they kind of just looked at it as like, now let's just take our time and really give to the players a good game while also not trying to get involved in the fight with Halo that they know they can win.
Yeah.
That I definitely think is a very smart move. That's why I said it was one aspect point of it, because they made the two good points in here. Is the mechanics for the players, giving them a good game that they want, but then also because like you said, because of pushing it back, is Halo Shadow dropped. Like we all know, Halo is going to get bombed out the door once everyone's able to get on it. They're just going to be on it. So, all in all, I think these are good calls for them to kind of help them survive. Like I've heard some good things about it when it's working. It's a pretty fun game, but with the fine tuning, I think it could be even a greater game at that point. Then they could definitely give us something new, unique in this in the Blood Hunt. So we will see what they give us in 2022 if they could really kind of live up to that.
I feel bad for them, to be honest. I mean, this is like a genuine Yu-Gi-Oh moment right there. They was about to put this out, and Microsoft, you triggered my trap, and then all of a sudden, just
they're like, hand over the deck. Just fold.
I will say that out of all the games I want to play on my Steam Deck, this is one of them, as well as New World. I do want to play with New World on my Steam Deck, but this is one of them that I want to play on my Steam Deck, and I do want to play with you guys. And I think that'll be a fun little time. We might give it a weekend, maybe a couple weeks. I don't know how well it will stick, but I know that me playing the beta previously on PC, I had a decent time with it, and I can see it being fun with friends. But that's kind of the same way how it is for Hunter's Arena. I like Hunter's Arena. I still want to get those skins, those Power Ranger skins for Hunter's Arena. They look sick as crap, man.
Oh, that's
they look really beautiful. But even with that, like I typically only play Hunter's Arena when I have friends to play with. So kind of same boat right there. I think it will expand our gaming library a little bit more, and I'm excited about that. But at the end of the day, it is another battle royale. We have about 50,000 of them already, and there's only a couple that's at the top 5 of the battle royales right now. Even Fall Guy Ultimate Knockout has fallen pretty drastically low, and that's a different type of battle royale. You know what I mean? So, but guys, does anyone have any more commentary on this delay before we wrap up the show for the evening?
It doesn't surprise me. We've been seeing a lot of delays recently.
Yes, we have.
Because of the COVID situation. So me personally as a gamer, I am not hard pressed for this. I actually am happy that they're saying, hey, we want to take some more time on this, because it allows you to definitely fine tune the game and deliver a better product. Like I said before, I feel like the issue with Cyberpunk really kind of gave the gaming world a wake-up call that they needed, that you cannot rush this on us.
Preach.
You cannot try to push this out just because your stockholder's like, well, we want money now. I'm like, you'll get your money.
Save it for the people in the back. Save it for the people in the back.
Just developers, take your time. Really polish that thing. Take a good look at it. Give us as best as you can. Because just try and avoid those first day fixes as much as you can. Like even just a small update is fine for some things, but those big ones that you need to do are like, holy shit, we gotta fix the game because it really broke, is just no. Agreed. So I feel like we're gonna see more of it, and I am a-okay with it.
A-okay with it. Ladies and gentlemen, that is your episode 73. If you're watching on YouTube or Twitch or our website at www.alwtgaming.com of ALWT Things Gaming, 59 of Spotify and Anchor. We appreciate you guys. We love you guys. Do want to give you guys a reminder, because now I'm starting to get more flood requests as far as like if I know where you guys can get a PS5 and Xbox Series X or S. for the holiday season. I'm going to tell you guys, this is why I've been saying it all year long. I would follow those tips. I would, and if you guys are interested in that, make sure you guys are reaching out to me via Messenger, as actually I'm kind of getting flooded on now. But also, take it with a grain of salt that it's going to be really tough to get one during the holidays. It's even more so than before. Like, it's chip shortages. People can see now that more of their games are coming out for these consoles. This is why I was just like, if you want it, you want to get it earlier. I think we even said that on one of the streams. You want to get it now because they're anticipating to be out for the rest of this year and maybe all of 2022.
Yeah, I think we said around like midsummer time. It was already projected to kind of like look that way because I will admit we kind of all saw it coming, especially when you mentioned chip shortages and everything. Like, I've been hearing that from a lot of different stuff. You know, there's a lot of shortages from a lot of different places and trying to just get those type of electronics and technology. So, you know, you're going to have to fight for it, guys. You're going to have to be on there and really fight for it if you want it now.
Yep. And I'll try my best to help out.
Best of luck to you. Yeah. Best of luck to you for sure.
I'll try to help out anyone that I do personally know. You guys are welcome to reach out to me. Anybody else, just inbox me.
I don't know why I did that one, but I did.
If anybody else, just inbox me and I'll give you guys the tips that I do to try to beat these scalpers. Please do not give scalpers your money. It's just going to encourage them to keep on doing this. And for one of the comments I got was saying that Walmart is selling it now for $1,000. That's not true. Walmart does allow third-party sellers to sell on their site, and that's what that is. So so that's not. It's not
Walmart.
Really Walmart.
Take them down.
Yeah,
take them down.
I think they should, but I mean, because that tricked me before. Actually, earlier this year, I was like, guys, don't give them your money. The Walmart sell for $1,000, and then one of my buddies was just like, no, this is third party, and I was like, oh, I didn't even know you could do that on Walmart. So
yeah, I bet somebody actually told me about that a while back.
So if you guys are again trying to get a console, good luck to you guys, and like I said, reach out to us at leastwetried.gaming@gmail.com, or you guys could just shoot us a message on our website, or if you guys know me personally, just shoot me an inbox, just shoot me a DM. I'll give you guys the little tips and tricks of how I was able to get 6 this year. Cool.
He scalped the scalpers.
I scalped the scalpers. All that. All right, guys. Well, we appreciate you guys. We love you guys. Just a heads up, this coming Saturday, actually. I think this is our 9 to 5 is this Saturday. We'll have to talk about that. Yeah. Well, I think our 9 to 5 is this Saturday. Thursday, we have Smite Night, which is going to be, I think we have, 6 more Smite Nights left, if that. 5 or 6 more left. But next Thursday, we are off. There is no Smite Night because that is Turkey Night. So, this Thursday, Smite Night.
So go smite the turkey.
Yeah.
We're going to bakasura the heck out of that turkey.
Yeah, this Thursday, Smite Night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This Saturday, 9 to 5 segment. Next Tuesday, typical ALWT Things Gaming. And then nothing until that following Tuesday. So our schedule is up on our website if you guys care to follow that, which again, www.alwtgaming.com. Last thing, I did not throw the pitch in here, but just want to throw it out there that if you guys do like Raise energy drinks, make sure you guys go to Rep Sports, reppsports.com, type in ALWT Gaming at checkout. After you add your Raise energy drinks in there, you guys will get 50% off. It's quite delicious stuff, sugar free. I'm not gonna say how much caffeine is in it, but it is sugar free. Okay.
Come on, give them no caffeine.
You don't even have to have drinking a Raise before. It's better for you. Get Raise. Don't drink those other ones. Get your Raise. Because guess what? They've also got energy drinks, energy supplements, workout powders, all that other stuff on there. Besides that, and just get yourself some on ALWT. 15% off right there.
This is why I love this guy. When you go to your boss, you don't ask for, I want a Red Bull, I want a Monster. No, you ask for a Raise. Now, you know what I mean? You ask for a raise. You might as well do it online, too.
I expect it in my bank account for Thursday.
I'm sorry.
That's my dad joke for the day.
So someone called Chester Cheetah. That was pretty cheesy.
Until next time, everybody. We love you. We appreciate you guys. Control, Alt.
Complete.
Peace. I thought it was pretty good.